Sure, the Patriots have had the Steelers' number for the last decade or so, but does that really mean anything come Sunday? This is the Foxborough Report, brought to you by 1 in 100. If you're looking for cheap tickets to Patriots games, Celtics games, or other events, check them out at 1in100.co. They can get you into the building for the price of a pizza or an ice-cold beer. Again, that's 1in100.co. I'm Alex Barth. He is Evan Lazar, and his game plan is actually up right now for Sunday's game on CLNSmedia.com, and a lot of it focuses, Evan, on history, the history of this rivalry, something Bill Belichick was asked about on Friday morning, and it was a very Belichick answer, but it was a true answer. What does it matter what happened last year? This is a new game. They're new teams.
Nope,
and
zero is what he said.
Well, he may think that he may tell us that there's no factor.
Yeah.
There is some of the same players, a good chunk of the same players, same
the
coaches.
scheme is the same.
Similar schemes.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to start with the scheme right now, because we talked a lot about Rob Gronkowski. His career's over, and then he bounces back, and then his career's over again, and then he's hurt, and then he bounces back. This is his game.
Right.
Patriots, Steelers, this is when Rob Gronkowski is at his best. He was last year. Based on combining the knowledge of what you saw last year versus what you've seen from the Steelers so far this year, can he kill the Steelers again?
Absolutely. And let me drop a few stats for you, all right?
Hit me with them.
Rob Gronkowski in his career against the Steelers, 110 receiving yards a game, 8 touchdowns in 6 games.
Is that good?
Not too shabby.
Is that good?
Okay, the Steelers this year have allowed the 8th most receiving yards to the tight end position in the league.
Hate to see that.
The Steelers this year also to receivers lined up in the slot or inline tight end position, the 2nd most receiving yards in the league to those positions. The Steelers this year, the 2nd most receiving yards to slot receivers this year. So let's look at that, and you look at Rob Gronkowski and you look at Julian Edelman, and you see bright lights, right? Like this is deer in the headlights right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that part of it is scheme. Part of it is that they've really never upgraded that personnel in the secondary. They drafted Tremaine Edmonds' brother, who I'm blanking on his name right now.
Terrell, right?
Terrell Edmonds, and they drafted him to kind of solidify like that safety linebacker, strong safety role. It hasn't necessarily really worked out. Last year, Gronk went up against Sean Davis and absolutely took him to school for like 158 yards into his coverage against Gronk in that final drive. Obviously, I think he had like 60 or 70 yards all by himself.
I think it was 69. I think if I remember, it probably was.
So really what it boils down to is the same old problems that the Steelers have had all these years against the Patriots, where Tom Brady has a 23-1 interception to touchdown to interception ratio with a 122 rating. They're all still there.
Yeah. All right, well, you talk about the slot, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen Edelman struggle at times this year, although he bounced back against Miami. Gronk struggled at times. Patriots' most consistent receiver, even though he wasn't here for the first month of the season, is Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
We've seen them in the past with Brandon Cooks, with guys like Brandon LaFell, take those outside players and move them in the slot when they feel like they're going up against a team that has trouble defending receivers coming out of that spot. Now, Josh Gordon's a different receiver.
Yeah.
But do we maybe see them kick him inside?
I think that you could see them kick him inside to maybe run some vertical seams against that in that slot position, because maybe they don't want to run Gronkowski on too many of those right now, just to protect him from injury. Obviously, a high impact area of the field. But I think that also going from the perimeter, those slant routes, those dig routes that eventually get over the middle and eventually attack the middle of a zone defense or something like that, could be something that we see. The Raiders absolutely beat the crap out of the Steelers with slant patterns, just over and over again to Jared Cook and Jordy Nelson. Those two guys must have caught over 150 yards on just slants alone in that game. So expect a lot of slant routes, expect a lot of empty formations, because one thing that the Steelers do is they play a lot of nickel defense with a single high safety, a post safety in the middle of the field, and they don't like to bump that safety down to match him up against a man on man-to-man coverage. So this is what the Chargers did with Keenan Allen, and everybody after that game went crazy that a linebacker was covering Keenan Allen, one of the best receivers in the league. The reason is that the Chargers spread them out. They went empty. The Steelers played 4 DBs and in a safety deep.
So can the Patriots do that with Josh Gordon? Can they get Josh Gordon with a linebacker?
They could. I think it's Julian Edelman, though, that is going to be...
That would get the linebacker?
That would get the linebacker. Okay. This happened...
Still a favorable matchup.
7 catches for 70 yards for Keenan Allen against a linebacker. Keenan Allen, a Pro Bowl wide receiver, going up against L.J. Fort and Bud Dupree and not a corner.
John
Bostic. They did that by spreading them out, going empty, forcing them to kind of either decide we're going to play dime against this look, or we're going to stay in our nickel and either go cover zero, or we're going to put a linebacker on them. Most of the time they went linebacker, and they paid the price.
So People can check out Evan's game plan for the Patriots on CLNSmedia.com, but I know you do a lot of research. Stuff gets left on the cutting room floor. Something you left out that you still think that people should know about.
Well, we talked about this on Wednesday, and it was the Stephon Gilmore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown matchup. Where is Gilmore going to go? Where is Jason McCourty going to go? As I've dug into the numbers a little bit more, it turns out that the Steelers have been using Ryan Switzer, they're a slot receiver, kind of like a Cole Beasley type, Danny Amendola. Think of those types of guys. I wouldn't really couldn't put him in the category of Edelman, but anyways, the thing is that they've been using him in 11 personnel, 3 wide receiver sets a lot more in the last 4 weeks, and that has bumped Juju Smith-Schuster to the outside a lot more because Switzer has been playing in the slot. So I think that the matchup might actually be, and I said it differently on Wednesday, I think Stephon Gilmore might get Juju because Juju now is 60-40 the other direction, 60% on the perimeter, 40% in the slot. He's not playing inside as much, with Ryan Switzer really playing 80-90% of his snaps inside.
All right, keep an eye out for Evan's keys in the Patriots game plan. He's been spot on this year at times. I mean, you can essentially get a preview of the Patriots-Steelers game if you read Evan's piece on CLNSmedia.com. This has been the Foxborough Report, brought to you by 1in100. Check them out online at 1in100.co for cheap Patriots tickets, Celtics tickets, and tickets to other events. Reporting from Gillette Stadium, I'm Alex Barth. He's Evan Lazar. Thanks for watching.